Hello, my name is Ken Francisco. I'm an apparent and electric line supervisor for New York State Electric and Gas Corporation. I have worked with and around high voltage electricity for many years. It has been my experience that most electrical injuries can be foreseen and avoided, if only people would take a few moments to stop and think about what they are doing. At NYSEG, we want to help to keep you safe, so we have produced this video for you in the hope that you will stop and think about keeping yourself safe around electricity. Please pay attention to this video. It may save your life or the life of someone you love.
The history of mankind is neither more nor less than the struggle for power, the power to survive, for control over space, time, and distance. Since our cave-dwelling ancestors, we have struggled to capture and control the powers observed in nature. The need for food, shelter, warmth, and light has been the driving force for some of our most creative inventions. At first, people relied on nature to provide the sparks to light their fires. People soon discovered that a properly placed spark from a piece of flint rock would start a fire that could heat and warm the campsite. However, it would be many centuries until the invention of the oil lamp, and then not until the candle would there be a reliable, if not totally safe, source of light when the sun went down. During the last part of the 19th century, the inventor Thomas Edison, after many trials and careful experimentation, built the first practical electric light bulb. Today, light bulbs turn night into day and make work and play an all-day possibility. When we look at the light bulb, we are reminded how far we have come in so short a time. An eye blink ago, the candle represented our best efforts to harness nature, of changing heat into light energy. Happily, the century which followed the introduction of the light bulb has also included other inventions which have taken advantage of our knowledge of electricity, making electricity our most needed, most reliable, and one of the safest sources of energy. The harnessing of electricity stands shoulder to shoulder with fire and the wheel as the most influential force in the development of mankind. Clearly, global electrification is the driving force propelling mankind into and through the 20th century, with a pace of progress unequaled in all previous centuries combined. As a new century unfolds before us, we can only guess at what new wonders await us. Today, we think of electricity as indispensable, and indeed it is. It is really important that we understand one simple fact about this necessary form of energy. It has a dangerous side, and when not treated with the respect it demands, it can, without hesitation, seriously injure or worse. NYSEG frequently conducts live line demonstrations like this one to help people understand the volatile but predictable nature of electricity. Whether you're a line worker, a student, a child at play, or a squirrel, when it comes to electricity, there's no such thing as being too careful. Sometimes, when your power is cut off, it's due to weather. Sometimes an automobile accident brings down the wires. Sometimes animals get between an energized conductor and a ground wire and blows fuses. Sometimes at live line demonstrations, wooden squirrels on the ends of specially designed insulated sticks do it. And tragically, there are times when something else happens. When it comes to electricity, you must be very careful. It's all about conductivity, about how electricity will find a path to ground. Always remember that electricity doesn't care about where that path leads, even if it's through you. Electricity may also travel through something you might think it couldn't possibly move through, like a tree limb. Before you climb a tree, stop and look for wires, and never climb any tree that has grown into the power lines. And while we're talking about climbing, never, repeat never, climb a utility pole for any reason. Even dry wood can conduct electricity with undetectable amounts of moisture present. That means you should never, repeat never, think you can get away with moving a downed wire with a piece of wood. What about the specially designed insulated sticks our line workers use? They are very special. They are made of fiberglass, designed to withstand very high voltages, up to 100,000 volts per foot for 5 minutes. You can't buy them. And there's nothing like that in your garage. Let's take a look at one of NYSEG's public service TV messages. One that makes no bones about the subject of conductivity, of electricity always looking for that path to ground.
Come on, hurry up! The wire!
And that path to ground could be through anything that comes into contact with an energized line. Your parents' car, your bicycle, a fishing pole, a ladder, a kite, anything capable of coming close to or making contact with our wires. We at NYSEG know about electricity. And because we care about our employees, we insist that every time our line mechanics work with electricity, that they wear special protective gear. And before they use this protective gear, they have to test it. Here, gloves are being air tested. Our line workers are looking for pinholes. Pinholes? More about that later. Like a modern physician preparing for surgery, eye protection, special head covering, special shirts, special sleeves, special gloves, gloves designed to withstand high voltages, up to 20,000 volts of electricity, and of course, insulated sticks. But most of all, we have provided them with a great deal of knowledge. These are the required tools so necessary to keep our workers safe. Anything less wouldn't be safe. But sometimes, as we will see later, even all this is not enough. And yet, it's more than you have, isn't it? Remember this, if you remember anything today. When it comes to electricity, there's no such thing as being too careful.
Clear?
Even at our live line demonstrations, many precautions are taken to be
Clear?
absolutely certain that the
on.
current is on only when it needs to be. From everyday experience, we know how important it is to be careful when electricity is nearby. Let's review what most of us already know. No matter who you are, where you live, or how smart you are, the rules regarding electricity never change. It's a fact that due to the dissolved minerals in it, water conducts electricity very well. Here, for example, electric current is flowing through the water in this plastic pipe, completing the electric circuit and lighting this light. For you, this means that anytime you're using any electrical appliance or tool, stay out of, stay away from water, even from moisture. Moisture? Just watch. Here is a new rule for you. Plain, everyday things can harm you. Rope, the kind you have in your garage or shed. It is damp, but so very slightly so that it feels dry to the touch. Yet it conducts enough current to light this bulb. If you were touching this rope, well, you might glow too. Shocking, isn't it? Kids, never play near or around an electric substation. If by chance something of yours finds its way into one of our substations, have an adult call us. We promise to get it for you. Remember, only with the right knowledge and equipment can a substation be safely entered. Never, ever enter a substation. And when you are out of doors and playing, you can't forget about electricity. When you fly your kites, use only cotton string that's absolutely dry, and never, never fly kites near overhead power lines. Watch. This is a commercially sold kite string, made stronger because it is reinforced with metallic threads. It is very dangerous and should never be used. You may ask yourself, why are we so concerned about kites in our wires? After all, they have a plastic insulator covering on them, right? Wrong. The plastic covering on the wires is weather protection for the wires. It is not insulation. Hundreds of people are seriously injured each year, thinking that the plastic covering will protect them from a shock. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Well, what about birds? You see them sitting on the wires all the time without any problem. How come? Does that mean that you can climb a pole and sit on the wire? Birds don't get shocked because they aren't touching the wire on the ground at the same time, or any object in contact with the ground. They fly and land on the wire without ever touching the pole. It is unlikely that you could touch a wire without being in contact with a grounded object. Remember, the utility pole itself is a grounded object and will provide electricity flowing in the wire a path to ground. Here is something else you don't want: protection that doesn't work. This air test determines that this ordinary high-quality rubber kitchen glove has no pinholes. So far, so good. But watch this. If you work on electricity around your home and think that household rubber gloves get you home free, think again. Electricity doesn't care that you thought the gloves would protect you. We've talked about pinholes and air testing. Why? Because electricity is predictable, and it will search for any path to ground. Here is a professional glove designed to withstand 20,000 volts. But this particular glove has a tiny pinhole in one finger. Watch. Now, using the same glove, let's add a highly conductive and readily available substance, plain tap water. Now you know why our line workers are so attentive to the condition of their equipment. Wouldn't you be? And now you also know why we keep saying, when it comes to electricity, there's no such thing as being too careful. Another of NYSEG's public service television spots warns against the dangers of working where you might contact or perhaps even cut through an energized line. Ever wonder what might happen if you did? We know. Here, we're not even working with high voltage. The power in this line is no greater than that found in your home. Without the special protective gear our line worker has on, how do you think he would fare in this situation? How about you? How do you think either one of you would fare if this wire were 7,200 volts instead of only 240? Not much left to the imagination here. It is often said that seeing is believing, and yet you might see an innocent-looking wire, a wire very much like this one lying in your yard or on the road, and you see nothing but a wire. It's not arcing or sparking. It doesn't look dangerous. Even though you can't always see electricity, you should always assume that it's there. It's powerful stuff, real powerful. These rocks that look like lava are pieces of the earth, plain old dirt, dug up from where a broken line allowed electricity to arc to ground. And speaking of arcs to ground, wait till you see this. You may think, I'm safe with rubber boots. Really? Don't bet your life on it, because that's what you are doing. All it takes to complete the circuit to ground is your body and a rubber boot that is a little dirty, a little moist, maybe one that has a pinhole, or is made with conductive rubber-like compounds, as many are. Now, let's take a look at long-distance electrocution. Imagine that this fence goes around a huge field. It could be any fence, maybe the chain-link fence around your schoolyard or a guardrail along a highway. Continue to imagine that way off in the distance, beyond your vision, a power line is down and lying across the fence. You get the idea. Students, parents, teachers, don't forget this, especially if you go walking or jogging after a damaging storm. What you can't see can hurt you. Here's a very dangerous situation, and there's one simple rule to remember about a car with downed electrical lines across it. It's hot. It's energized. If you touch it, you could be seriously injured or even killed. The most important rule to remember is, if you're inside the car, stay there. You're safe as long as you don't step out. Wait until emergency help arrives. Relax, and make sure untrained would-be rescuers don't become the real victims. If and only if you must get out. For example, your car is burning. Then leap free, without any part of your body or clothing touching the energized vehicle and the ground at the same time. This is very important. If you must jump, keep this in mind. Do not, repeat, do not run or even walk away once you jump clear of the vehicle. Why? If you walk, your feet will bridge two areas of different electrical potential, and you can be seriously hurt or killed. So what should you do? Try to control the urge to run like the wind. Relax. You are clear of the vehicle. Using small, shuffling steps, keeping both feet on the ground. Move slowly away until you are at least 50 feet away from the wires. Why? Because we don't know the voltage of the electricity leaking from the downed wire, and we want you to be safe. As our line professionals in their special personal protective garments start to wrap up this demonstration, I want to re-emphasize the word professional. To us, it means knowledgeable people, and it means the right equipment. To you, it's important to understand that having one without the other is simply not enough. For example, these days, everybody seems to have a hard hat. Now, our hard hats are rated to withstand very high voltages, up to 20,000 volts, and yet, without the knowledge to use them correctly, the electrical insulation that they provide can be defeated. As an example, let's see what would happen if someone wearing a wintertime helmet liner had been perspiring just a little. Without thinking, they tied their damp air flaps on top of their helmet, then contacted an energized line or part. Oh boy, that gets the message across, doesn't it? And here's something else that will too. This hot dog has about the same consistency, the same moisture content as the human body. Your body, let's say. Hot dog! That gets the message across, doesn't it? Need we say more? Well, maybe. In the last few minutes, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's quickly review the important points. Don't go near any electric wires, whether on a pole or on the ground. Assume all wires are dangerous. Never climb a utility pole or tower. Never touch a wire, even if it has a plastic covering on it. Never go into a substation. Stay out of trees that have power lines nearby. Never fly kites near power lines. Do not use electric appliances near water. If power lines are touching your car, 1, stay inside. 2, keep other people away. 3, stay calm. If your car is on fire and you must leave the vehicle, remember, 1, jump clear of the car without touching the vehicle. 2, don't walk or run. 3, use shuffling steps to move at least 50 feet away. Yes, when it comes to electricity, there's no such thing as being too careful. And remember, if you don't have the knowledge and you don't have the tools, you do have us.